Hi everyone. My name is Wanda from Samnisaya. Hello. So today I'm going to be showing you how to make a Slavic chevron bracelet. I'm going to be using two colors for this bracelet. One is a multicolored string and the other one is going to be a dark green string. All the measurements are on the screen, and the string that is the multicolored string that is the longest is what we're going to be using for our loop. So we're just going to pull all the ends of the strings together, and we're going to find the middle there. We're going to pinch that where the middle is. Then we're going to move, like, maybe use your eyes to measure it, like maybe 30 cm. That's like 0.5 inches. Don't mind me, 0.5 inches. That's the middle. Then hold there. You can just tape it down, or you can do my style and just pinch it and use your right hand to do what you need to do. So I'm going to come back into frame now and show you that we're making backward forward knot. So that's a backward knot. Well, a backward. That's going to be capital D, and then you pull through that, pull up, and then for the forward part, we're going to be making a 4, like the letter 4, and then pull in and pull up. So that's a backward forward knot. I'm going to show it again. Make a capital D, pull through that loop, make it 4, and pull through that loop too. So that's our backward forward knot. And I'm going to make this for to be about an inch or 1.25 inch, just to be sure. But you can choose to do it however you want to. Just bear in mind that I'm making, I don't remember what it's called, but I'm making a double teardrop start. Is it double teardrop? I don't think that's what it's called, but double triangle start. That's what we're making. So you need to make your loop to be wide enough for your ties to pass through. So I recommend nothing less than 1.25 inches, nothing less than that. Okay. So now I'm dividing my strings in half, two multicolor on one side, two green on one side, then what we get is 4, 4. So starting with the parts on the left, we're going to make forward knots, starting with our multicolored string. Then the next one will be our green string. And now for the next one, we're also going to use our multicolored string to make a forward knot over the last string, which is green. So now that we're done with this side, we're going to go over to the one on the right. We're going to make something similar, the same color arrangement, but different knots. Because for this side, we're going to be making backward knots. So starting again with our multicolor string. Now for this, you're supposed to be using the string that came from your loop to do this one. That should be the first string you use. It just makes it easier because of how it lays down lightly. You get what I'm saying. So the next one is going to be our dark green string. And then after that, it's going to be our. Now, for just going to switch up a little bit, I'm going to use my green string to make a backward forward knot. You can choose to make your use the multicolor string and make your backward knot here. Sorry, I decided not to because I'm looking for a little fun in the bracelet. You do not have to do this. I'm just doing it. So now what we're going to do is to take the two strings that are currently in the middle, and we're going to make a forward knot with those two strings. In my case, they're going to be multicolored strings. And now we're going to pick up the next string beside that, which is going to be the green one. That's the string on the left. We're going to use that and make one forward knot over the multicolored string. And then we're going to drop it, So now we're going to pick up that same multicolor string. We're going to use that string now to make a backward knot over the string on the left. And then, if not for the fact that we have not done like the middle part yet, would have made another backward knot. But let's just leave that. So we're done with the right side. We're going to go to the left side and do something very, very similar on that side. So now moving on to this other side, we're going to start by making the start of our bracelet on the left side. So remember to split your strings into two, four on each side, two of each of the strings on each side. Starting with the bunch on the right, I'm going to be making backward knots all over all the strings together with the first one, that's the multicolored string. Then the next one is going to be our green string. And now we're just going to take the multicolored string and make a backward knot using that one as our last string would be made with it. And now we're going to just like make the forward knots. So we're going to take the green string, the last string from this side, and the green string from the other side that's also in the middle of like general bracelet. We're going to make a forward knot. I'm doing this so that I can close up the space and I can actually like, get started on the actual pattern of the bracelets. So now that we're done with the inside, we're just going that string I'm currently holding, take the string on the right of that, that's the multicolor string, and make a backward knot over the green string that's in the middle. So if you remember, we haven't actually made the start that's on the left part of the left part. So what we're going to do is we're going to pick up that side and we're going to actually make it. So starting from the end, pick up all the strings, use the multicolor string to make one forward knot over all the strings together. Then the next one is going to be our green string, which we're going to be using to make another forward knot over the remaining strings together. And then for the last part, remember what we did on the previous side. So we're going to take our green string and make a backward knot over the last string, which in my case would be a multicolor string. So you can do a backward forward knot. My mistake, sorry. And now that we're done, we're actually going to make the start on the left hand side, like on the left part. So remember, we're going to take the two strings that are in the middle of this part now. They are going to be two multicolor strings. We're going to make one forward knot with that string. So remember, we're going to make a forward knot with the two strings that are currently in the middle. Now that we're done with that, take the string that's beside that, that's the green string, and make a backward knot over the multicolored string. Okay. And then now we're going to use that current string, that's multicolored string. We're going to make two forward knots with it. So we're going to make three forward knots. We're going to make one knot over the multicolor string, one over the green string, and one over the string that's in the middle of the entire bracelet. That's also a multicolored string. So now that we are currently done with our starts, we're going to start making the official bracelet. Like we're going to start following the actual pattern now with no thinking about it. So remember, I'm segment nothing. So we're going to start with this side on the right. We're going to count the third string, take this third string from the edge. That's going to be our green string in this case. We're going to use that string and make forward knots to remove that to the middle. So we're going to make 5 forward knots with that string. So now we're just going to go to the left side. You can count the third string from the edge of the left. We're going to use that string, which is also going to be a green string, to make 6 forward knots. So on the other side, we made 5 knots, but that string now is also going to be added to the strings we're going to make a knot on top of, which is making the left side 6. So now we're going to the other side. We're going back to the right side. We're going to count this to the second string, which is going to be a multicolored string. We're going to use that string and make 6 backward knots. Now that we're done with that, since we're segment knotting, I'm going to make a little bit more of the knots on this side before we go back to the other side and mirror what we just did. So I'm going to make this right arrow here, and I'm going to stop when I get to like the middle part. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take the 2 strings on the edge, use the second one to make a forward knot over the last string. So now we're going to take the second string again, that's green. We're going to make 3 backward knots using that green string. So now we're going to take the last string. We're going to use that string to make 1 forward knot. Sorry, 1 backward knot. That's the string on the edge. We're going to use that multicolor string and make 1 backward knot over the green string beside it. And now that we're done with that, we're going to take the next string, which is going to be another multicolored string. We're going to make two forward knots using that string. So now we're going to count to the fourth string from the right side. One, two, three, and that's the fourth one. So using this fourth string now, we're going to make two forward knots using it. In the pattern, it says make one forward knot, but I'm choosing to make two because it's going to make my work easier later on. So now we're going to count five strings. On the sixth string, we're going to use the sixth string to make two forward knots. In this case, it's going to be a multicolored string. That's well, the sixth string will be a multicolored string in my case. We're going to use that to make two forward knots. And now we're going to pick up the seventh string, which is the green string that was beside our previous string. We're going to use that to make two forward knots also. Two forward knots. And now that we're done with that, we're actually done with the entire part here. So we're going to move to the left side and do everything we've done here on that side too. So now we're going to take the count from the second string, take the second string from the left. We're going to use that string to make. At first, we're supposed to just make seven, but because I did the other side complete, so what we're going to do instead of making seven knots is we're going to make nine knots. Sorry, we're going to make nine forward knots using that string. So now that we're done with that, we're going to take the second string again on the left side. We're going to make one backward knot over the string on the edge. That's multicolored string over the green string on the edge. So taking that second string on the left, we're going to make three forward knots using that string, like we did on the other side. So now we're going to go back to the edge. We're going to use the string on the edge and make one forward knot. So now, counting to the third string again, we're going to use the third string to make two backward knots. That's one over the second one and one over the string at the edge, on the edge. So now we're going to take the fourth string. We're going to use that fourth string to make two backward knots. And now we're going to take the sixth string this time. We're going to make two backward knots again. The sixth string, two backward knots. So now we're going to take the seventh string and make two backward knots using the seventh string. So now we're going to take the string that's currently in the middle. I'm going to use that string to make two for backward knots. Sorry. And now we're going to take the two strings in the middle. In my case, they're going to be green strings. We're going to take those two green strings and use them to make just like one forward knot. And now we're going to take the string on the right side. We're going to make one backward knot with that string, moving that from the side it is to the middle. Now we're also going to take the green string, sorry, the multicolor string on the other side, on the left side. We're going to use that and make two forward knots. One and two. So now we just finished making the first half. Now from this side, this is where it's actually going to be repeating, because at the beginning we made a triangle star. So this is actually where you should focus on going forward. So now we're going to go to the right side. We're going to get our third string. Sorry, we're going to take our second string in this case. So now I'm going to take the third string from the right edge. I'm going to use that string to make five backward knots. So now we're going to go over to the left side and we're going to do something similar. So on the left side, we're going to take the third string too, where we're going to be making six knots instead of five. So we're going to be making six forward knots using the third string on the right. So now we're going to go over to the right side again, and we're going to be making 6 backward knots. So we're going to be making 7 backward knots from the right side using the last string on the edge. We're going to recognize what we are doing on this side because we did it previously. So we're going to use the second to the last string on the edge, as the second string on the edge, sorry. We're going to use that. I'll make a forward knot over the last string. Then using the second string now, what's coming through the second string, we're going to make 3 backward knots. Three backward knots now. So using that string, we're going to make 1 backward knot. And then using the third string, we're going to make 2 forward knots with that string, moving that from being the third string to the string on the edge. So now we're going to count to the fourth string. Using the fourth string, we're going to make 2 forward knots. Now using the sixth string, we're going to make another set of 2 forward knots. And now using the seventh string, we're going to make the last set, which will have another 2 forward knots in it. And we are done with our right side again. Moving towards the other side. So back to the left side, we're going to take the string on the edge and we're going to be making 10 forward knots with that string. 10 forward knots straight. And now we're going to take the second string and we're going to make 1 backward knot using that string. 1 backward knot using that string. Now take the current second string that's green. We're going to make in 3 forward knots. Now, taking the string on the edge, again, we're going to make one forward knot using that string. Then using the third string, we're going to make two backward knots. And now we're going to use the fourth string and make two backward knots again. Now we're going to use the sixth string to make two backward knots. Now we're going to use our seventh string to make two backward knots. And lastly, we're going to use our eighth string to make two backward knots again. So now we're going to take the two strings that are currently in the middle. We're going to make one forward knot with them. Now take the string on the right and make one backward knot on top of the green string next to it. Take the next string on the left and make two forward knots using that string. And we are currently done. I would leave a timestamp here where you will go back if you want to repeat the same steps. But I'll get back to you when we are ready to do our ends and our ties. I know that we did like a double triangle start at the beginning, but for now we're just going to make like a triangle end because I find I like this end much better than any of the other ones I've done before. So first we're going to put all the strings on the left side, and for you to do this you will have stopped at like a triangle part. So what I'm going to be doing now is I'm going to take the two strings on the edge on the right, and I'm just going to like use those strings to make like what's it called? Like a backward forward knot. But please make sure that you actually end this bracelet in a triangle. Like the left and the right side should be like the beginning of triangle, and then the middle is like the triangle, top of the triangle, something like that. So it's like, I don't know, like a V. Yeah, like a V. So currently what I'm still doing is I'm trying to show you how to make the V, at least on one side. So you can see where I stopped. You can choose to stop there too. And I'm going to do the same thing on the, what's it called, on the left side so that you can see both sides. So now we've made our V and we're actually ready to start making the triangle end. It's like a plain triangle end. I've mentioned this before. So at first I'm just going to try and like use something to hold all the strings on the left so that like they're out and they don't like tangle up with the rest of my bracelet. Now for the beginning, take the two strings on the right edge, like the first and second string counting from the right. Take the second string and make a forward knot on the first string. And then take the next string, that's the third string, make a forward knot on top of both strings, like how we did at the beginning. So we're doing it again. So take the fourth string and make a forward knot on those three strings together. Now take the next string, the fifth string, the next string, and make another forward knot. The next string, the sixth string this time, make a forward knot too. And now with the next one, make another forward knot. This is the seventh one. And now we're going to take the last string and make a forward knot. So this one should be tight and okay. Please ensure that your knots are not on top of each other, but they are beside each other, because that's how it's supposed to be. So I'm just going to do something I don't usually do and show you how I make my ends, because I'm sorry, but I'm tired. So firstly, I'm going to be doing it based on colors. So I'm going to divide them by green on one side, multicolor on one side. So green on the left, multicolor on the right. So firstly, I'm going to take the multicolor in any order. Just take one string and then put it to the left. Take the green on the left, put to the right, and then put one from there on the left, and the green to the right, one to the left, green to the right, one to the left, green to the right. Now you notice after this, like you now have multicolor on one side. So now it already has like a pattern to follow. So you're going to be doing it accordingly. So you don't necessarily have to like stress yourself about it because it follows an exact order already. So just keep doing that. Move the green to the opposite side and multicolor to the opposite side. And then you just continue doing that to get your desired length. I like my ties to be around 5 inches or more. If I'm in a good mood, I make it like more because fishtail braids for me are kind of repetitive and kind of boring. So now let's go to the left side and we'll do the similar thing. Take the two strings on the edge, use the second string to make a backward knot on the first string. Take the third string and make a backward knot on those two strings together. Take the next string, make a backward knot on those two strings together too. That's the fourth string, sorry. Now take the fifth string and also make another backward knot. So basically, we're just going to be making backward knots with all the strings we have till we get to the eighth string. That's going to be the last string, the string that's currently in the middle. And then you can make another fishtail braid. Please make sure your braids are of the same size. At the time, I had my braids to be one short, one long. Why? Because I liked it. Now I do not, and I regret it. So I don't wear this bracelet as much. Anyway, that is it for this tutorial video. Please like, subscribe, and leave me a comment if you want to. Have a nice day and bye.